Every month, you promise yourself the same thing. This time, I'm keeping the $100. Payday hits, you feel responsible, slightly unstoppable. Then 2 weeks later, it's gone. Not in a dramatic splurge, not in a wild Amazon spiral, just evaporated. If that sounds familiar, this video is going to change how your money moves forever. Before we dive in, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Mano Invest so you don't miss strategies that actually build financial breathing room. Now, let's talk about why your first $100 keeps disappearing. Part 1. Your $100 isn't weak, it's unemployed. If your first $100 disappears every month, it's not because you're bad with money. It's because your money has no job. Here's what's really happening. Your paycheck lands in one account. From that same place, rent gets paid, subscriptions renew, groceries swipe, random charges slip in. Everything pulls from the same pile. When all your money sits in one spot, spending gets first access. Think about it. The average person makes 40 to 50 transactions a month. That's more than one money decision every single day. Your $100 isn't competing with one big purchase. It's getting chipped away by small, forgettable charges. A streaming price bump, a delivery membership, an app you forgot to cancel. Individually, they feel harmless. Together, they quietly draft your $100 before you even notice. So you think you lack discipline. But discipline isn't the real issue. Structure is. If your savings sits in the same account as daily spending, it's exposed, and exposed money gets used. The fix isn't more willpower, it's giving that $100 a clear assignment and moving it before spending gets a turn. Because once money has a job and a separate space to do it, it behaves differently. And here's the part most people miss. The moment you change where the $100 lives, everything about how it survives starts to change too. The question is, where should it live instead? Part 2. The subscription trap you don't see. You're not bad with money. You're just being quietly charged. Here's what's really happening. You start a free trial, you fully intend to cancel, you even open the app, but suddenly it's an obstacle course. Pause instead? 50% off. Are you sure? Life interrupts. You close it. Next month, charge. Now zoom out. When people are asked how much they spend on subscriptions, the average guess is way lower than reality. Once they list every streaming service, cloud storage plan, delivery membership, fitness app, and random add-on, the real number is often double. Why? Because most of it is on autopay. And autopay doesn't care if rent just cleared. It doesn't care if this week is tight. It runs. That's the trap. Small, recurring charges feel harmless. $10 here, $15 there, but stacked together, they quietly compete with your savings. Your first $100 a month isn't disappearing in one dramatic purchase. It's being sliced into pieces by things you barely notice. And here is the key idea. This isn't a discipline problem, it's a design problem. Spending is frictionless. Canceling isn't. Companies make it one click to start and 10 steps to stop. The system depends on "I'll handle it later." Later is expensive. So here's a quick challenge. Open your bank app, scroll the last 30 days, count every recurring charge. No judgment, just visibility. Because once you see the pattern clearly, you can finally decide which subscriptions are worth funding and which ones have been quietly funding themselves. Part 3. Why the $100 feels cursed. You ever check your bank balance and think, okay, I'm good this month? Then a few days later, 3 charges hit back to back, and suddenly you're not good anymore. Here's what's really happening. On the 6th, your balance looks healthy, but that number is lying to you. It doesn't include the insurance payment landing on the 9th, the annual subscription you forgot about on the 11th, the pending restaurant charge that adjusts 2 days later. Some charges are finalized, some are just holds, some shift after tips or processing delays, but your brain treats the number on the screen like it's solid. It's not. Your account balance is a moving target. And when your first $100 sits in that same account, it's fully exposed to every timing surprise. Rent doesn't care that you plan to save. Auto renewals don't ask if it's a tight week. Pending holds don't warn you before they stack. So when that $100 disappears, it feels cursed. It's not cursed, it's unprotected cash sitting in a high traffic zone. Money in your main checking account has one job by default: absorb whatever hits next. Until you separate what's for spending from what's for saving, your balance will always feel unpredictable. And here's the real question most people never ask. What would happen if your savings never had to survive inside that chaos in the first place? Part 4. The two-lane system. If your $100 disappears every month, it's not because you're bad with money, it's because your money has no lane. Right now, everything sits in one pile: bills, subscriptions, random charges, and when everything shares the same space, spending always wins. Here's the fix: build a two-lane system. Lane 1 is calm cash. This is not investing money, it's protection money. It covers the annoying stuff that usually resets your progress: a surprise copay, a car repair, an annual renewal you forgot, a week where income dips. Calm cash exists so one small hit doesn't wipe out your entire plan. And here's the rule most people miss: it cannot be swipe-friendly. No debit card, no Apple Pay, no instant transfers. If it takes a day to move the money, that's good. That delay forces a decision. Friction protects progress. Then comes lane 2, growth. This is where you invest: retirement accounts, index funds, long-term compounding. This money is for future you. But growth only works if calm cash is solid. If you're constantly pulling money out of investments to cover small emergencies, you're not compounding, you're recycling stress. 2 lanes, 2 jobs. One protects your month, one builds your future. Most people try to build wealth without first stabilizing their cash flow. That's why they keep starting over. The real question is, which lane is your next $100 going into? Part 5. What if you have debt? If you're investing while carrying high-interest debt, you might be losing money and not even realizing it. Here's the mistake. People here start investing early and rush into the market. But if you're paying 20% interest on a credit card, that's not just a bill. That's a guaranteed 20% loss working against you every month. And the stock market doesn't guarantee 20%. So what's actually happening? You're trying to grow money in one place while another part of your life is quietly draining it faster. Think of high-interest debt as a hole in your bucket. Pouring investments on top doesn't fix the hole. It just makes you feel productive. Here's the smarter order. First, build a small buffer, not a giant emergency fund, just enough so one surprise expense doesn't push you deeper into debt. Second, attack the highest interest balance, not the smallest, not the most annoying, the most expensive, because that's the one growing the fastest. Every dollar you eliminate there is a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate. Then, once the leak slows down, shift hard into investing. Now your money compounds without fighting uphill. And here's the part most people miss. When the drag disappears, investing suddenly feels easier, not because you changed, because the math finally stopped working against you. The real question is, are you building wealth or just offsetting interest? Part 6. How to set it up. If your $100 savings keeps disappearing, it's not bad discipline, it's bad setup. Here's the fix, and it takes less than 10 minutes to start. First, pick your transfer day. Not sometime in this month. Pick one specific day. The day after payday works best because the money is actually there. You want your savings to move before spending starts. Second, automate the $100. Not a reminder, not a sticky note, a real automatic transfer from checking to savings. That way, it moves whether you feel motivated or not. Consistency beats willpower anytime. Third, make your savings slightly inconvenient. No debit card, no instant tap back into your spending account. If it takes a day to move the money, good. That small delay forces a decision instead of an impulse. Fourth, set a realistic target. You're not building a massive emergency fund yet. You're building a buffer, enough to handle the usual annoyances, like a random fee or small repair, without blowing up your month. Fifth, do a 10-minute subscription sweep. Open your bank statement, search for monthly, annual, or membership, then ask one brutal question. If this charge hit on the same day as an emergency, would I defend it? If the answer is no, cancel it. Now, not later. Set this up once, and your $100 finally gets a job. The real question is, what happens when it survives the first 3 months? Part 7. What changes in real life? What if $100 a month didn't make you rich, but made you calm? Most people chase big returns. They skip the boring part, and that's why they keep starting over. Here's what actually changes when you set up your money the right way. Month 1. A random charge hits, and it doesn't wreck your week. No panic, no juggling bills. You handle it and move on. Month 2. Those small oops moments start disappearing. Fewer late fees, fewer overdrafts, fewer emergency transfers. Not because you became perfect, because your money has structure. Month 3. Something unexpected happens. You feel calmer. Not richer, calmer. And calm is the real foundation of wealth. When your short-term surprises are handled, your long-term money can finally breathe. That's where investing starts to work the way it's supposed to. That same $100 a month invested consistently at a reasonable return can grow into tens or even hundreds of thousands over decades. But here's the key. It only compounds if it survives. If your investment money keeps getting pulled back into chaos, you're not building wealth, you're resetting the game every few months. Wealth isn't built from intensity, it's built from stability. So the real question isn't, how much can I invest? It's, can my plan survive a bad Tuesday? Because once it can, that's when the snowball finally starts rolling. And most people never realize which small shift makes that happen. Part 8. The trap after you start winning. You finally start winning with money, and that's exactly when most people mess it up. You get a raise, a bonus. Suddenly there's breathing room in your bank account, and your brain says, relax, you don't need all those systems anymore. That's the trap. When money was tight, you had structure, separate savings, clear investing, guardrails. But once income goes up, people merge everything back into one account, one big pile. It feels simpler. It's not. One pile means lifestyle creep gets first access. Subscriptions upgrade, spending stretches, investments pause just for now. Emergency savings gets dipped into because I'll replace it next month. More income doesn't fix weak structure, it amplifies it. If your system only works when you're broke, it's not a system, it's survival mode. Winning months are when discipline matters most. Keep your emergency funds separate. Keep investing automatic. Keep long-term money out of reach. Because bigger income with no separation doesn't create wealth, it creates bigger mistakes. And here's the question most people never ask. When your income grows, does your structure grow with it, or does your spending? Small recap. Move your first $100 automatically on day 1. Lane 1 is calm cash, no easy swipe access. Lane 2 is growth, long-term only.
Reduce high-interest drag before aggressive investing. Never merge the lanes once it starts working. Your money wasn't disappearing because you lack discipline. It was disappearing because it had no protected job. If you found this helpful, hit the like button so more people can escape the one pile trap. Share this with someone who keeps saying, "I don't know where my money goes." And subscribe to Mano Invest for practical strategies that actually build financial control and long-term wealth. And if you want to understand why saving your first $1,000 feels harder than building the next $10,000, watch the next video on your screen right now.